Joe presents Liquid Football, sponsored by Paddy Power.
Hello, welcome to Liquid Football on Joe, together with Paddy Power. It's the show that takes you inside the dressing room and puts you in the boots of the players. I'm Kelly Cates, and joining me this week, Wayne Bridge, Luis Garcia and Carlton Cole. And we have to start with Jose Mourinho. It's not all about him, it never is, but it is. He got the win, but I mean, we saw sort of shaky signs from Tottenham towards the end of their game against West Ham. But all 3 points, winning start, back to business for Jose. What did you make of it?
They haven't won for a while, have they? But
11 months away from home.
It doesn't surprise me, to be honest. I think he always comes in and makes an impact, and he would have been working hard with them from day one. He'd been working hard tactically, making sure they know what they're doing.
Has he had enough time to do that?
I think so, yeah. He would have been working from the first minute. He would have been saying what I want from each player. He would have said, different scenarios in games. Everyone would have known what to do and how he wants to play. Obviously, I thought they were a bit shaky towards the last 25 minutes, but he got the result. That's what he does.
Is it as much to do with changing the players' mindset, just having a new face in there?
I think with a manager, when they arrive straight away, there's a change in the dressing room. Everybody wants to show things to the new manager. Actually, you can see the difference. We've seen Lucas Moura just for a while. Sometimes suddenly he found himself straight away in the dressing room, and it's something totally different for all the players. Now there is not the ones that were playing before with Pochettino. Now everybody can have a chance, and he wants to make sure that everybody is on their toes. And well, he shows this way. Look, I've changed one. Eriksen, they used to play also in the middle, is not involved. So everybody can have a chance. So everybody gives a little bit extra. So, the result is over there, and I'm sure that it's going to change the face of this Tottenham.
Eriksen Dyer was the big call that he made in terms of the team selection. But one of the other issues that he decided to tackle head on was that of Dele Alli. It's now sort of famously said to Dele Alli, "Are you his brother? Well, if not, then play like the real Dele Alli." But is that his new Frank Lampard? Is that, given that he went in, he said to Frank Lampard, he told him, "You're a world beater. You can go and do this." Is that what he's going to do with Dele Alli?
I think, obviously Dele's we know what he's done before, and he's a good player as well. But at the same time, Dele's still young. People still forget that he's still a young player, and you can have bad patches, but it's just the way you recover from them. And I think Mourinho is the right one to try and get him out of that phase that he was in and start performing at the highest level, like we all know he can. And I think Dele wants to learn as well, so that's the main thing for me. I think as long as he wants to learn and improve and learn from a world-class manager, he'll be one of the best in the Premier League again. And
it's particularly Jose Mourinho, you think, is suited to bringing the best out of Dele?
Well, yeah, because I think Mourinho's, like, as I said, I keep on saying this, he's a sports psychologist, really. He knows how to get the best out of his players. I'm not sure if he's a developer. That's a different case, but I think he's more of a psychologist where he knows how to get the best out of a player that's already been proven to be a quality player.
He does that kind of mind games, try to challenge you all the time, trying to bring the best of you. We saw also a footage where he arrived to Son and he gives a hug and everything because he knows the way he's been through the last couple of weeks, and he wants to bring the best of him. So he always tries to do that. He's very good on that.
But you're talking about the impact that he can make the minute he comes in the door. When he walks in at Chelsea, what does he do then? What does that mean? Because
I think what changes instantly is the intensity of training. For instance, if you played 4v2, you can be pretty relaxed on the ball. It's 4v2, it's easy. But he would stop training after 2 minutes. Go, it's not good enough. It's got to move quicker, more energetic. He would just stop it. And he would, if he had to bollock someone, he would. And it would just keep you on your toes the whole time.
Pochettino, though, because he's meant to be a hard trainer, isn't he?
No, his terms are hard. It's just intensity at that time and little simple things. He would want the simple things done quickly and sharp. There was nothing relaxed about any part of training. And like I said before, there was an instance of me where if I had the ball, he would run through scenarios with me. So if the winger tucked inside, what does their fullback do? If the fullback does this or the fullback does that, you do this. And he would run through loads of different scenarios with you. And it come down to me in the end what decision I would make, but he would run through all different scenarios that you knew what you could do.
And I suppose he has, and in a way, his reputation has taken a bit of a dent. He's still a manager who's known as a winner. But it's taken a slight knock, Mourinho's reputation. But he goes in, and does he have that charisma that people talk about when he's with players?
Oh, definitely. Like, even when you just talk to him or in the same room as him, you can tell his presence is in the room, because he's a massive character. And any player, especially them Tottenham players as well, they're going to be respecting him straight away for what he's done in the game. So they're going to want to, if the owners put faith in him, say this is our guy now, all of them are going to want to impress him. And you're going to want to impress a world-class manager, no matter what their record is in the last club. We all know as footballers that does happen sometimes. Sometimes it don't work out for you at a certain club, which it didn't, and we could see why it didn't at Man United. But now you could start to see that these boys are going to actually play for him, because they've gone out and they was winning comfortably 3-0 against West Ham, and but they hung in there as well, and they showed that fighting spirit where they might have folded under Pochettino, and probably West Ham might have got back in the game. But in this game, they stuck together and they got the result.
Well, what do you think about the comment you made at Carlton that you're not sure if Mourinho is a developer? Pochettino was very much and is very much a developer of talent. Is Mourinho in many ways a finisher then? Is he the one who can put that final step into the Tottenham players?
I think he's got so much experience, so he can manage all kind of situations. I'm sure that in the moment he got a step into the club, if you have a look, no one is talking about the players, who he's going to use, who he's going to play, how they are playing. No, it's about Mourinho. So he took out a lot of pressure from that team. No one was talking about, they've been losing, they haven't been winning on away side. No one is talking about anything about that. It's about Mourinho, what he has done or what he's going to do. So that's a lot of pressure, and he's done it in all the teams. Yeah. When the pressure is on the players, he suddenly comes on a press conference and talks about something different, about himself, about something that happened during the week, but not about the players. And that's very good sometimes, because you don't feel that pressure when you are on the field.
I think it's good sometimes for him. But then we've seen the bad side for him as well. Like obviously at Man United, everything was on him, and he took a lot of pressure off the players. But it could work two ways for him. You know what I mean? But for the players,
sometimes the players want to share the glory, but they don't mind when he's taking the heat. But they
don't mind when he's taking the heat. Obviously, mate. If my manager's gonna dig me out in the change rooms, but like look after me in the press, I'm all for him. You know what I mean? So it's not a problem sometimes, but obviously he takes the rough with the smooth in the media.
Because the buzzword in his opening press conference was humble. He kept talking about, it was a sense that there was this new version of Jose 2.0 or whatever.
Software upgrade.
It just felt like that whole kind of, but it just kept reminding me of that first press conference that he had when he came to Chelsea, and he actually didn't call himself the special one. He said, I'm a special one, but still the special one tag kind of took hold for Jose Mourinho.
He's been also on the media, so he's been on the media side, and he can see what happened when he talks on the media and the reaction of the people. So now I think he can also control that kind of stuff, knowing what the impact is going to have. Yeah. And now there is a manager.
What he says in the press as well, and what he says to the players is totally different.
Yeah, of course. Definitely.
It can be totally different.
Do you know what I'm waiting to see? I'm waiting to see a VAR decision, go against him. Then we'll see if he's humbled himself down a little bit, because I'm sure he wouldn't be doing what Roy Hodgson done the other day when it didn't go in his favour, but he came out at the end of it and said, do you know what, okay, it was a push from RU. But at the same time, I don't know if Mourinho would admit that.
He will have had that in the League Cup, wouldn't he? They'll have trialled that when he was in charge of Manchester United. I'm thinking it probably will have been that
but
that
it wasn't
season,
as serious
but it
for him.
Not the way that it's taken hold in the Premier League. But the way that he would say one thing to the players and one thing to the media, is that something that the players would be aware of? You would know when you're listening to him going out and talking to the press and giving his interviews to the television. Are you thinking either that's not what he said to us, or that's not what he's going to come here and tell us?
I think he's one of them managers, and can't be able to back me. I think he'll have his favourites maybe, like obviously with lamps and stuff like that. But he was always for the team. He would always back the team up. He'd always cover for you if he needed to cover you. I think he always had the team's back. He did, didn't he? Really?
Yeah. Always look. He's always had the team. The team's number one because he has to have the team on side. That's like no word of a doubt. But he'll always. Well, I've had a different experience myself.
I've had ups and downs with him as well. So like, it's never plain sailing for me.
Yeah, so I know when he can actually batter you, and the press won't know about it, but all your teammates do, and you've seen it firsthand. But then you don't look at him funny because that won't leak because that is between you guys.
Is that why then the period at Manchester United where it felt he was criticising the players and at times criticising young players for how they performed? Did that seem alien to you? Did you look at them?
Yeah.
Did you look at him then and think that's not the manager that I recognise working with?
Definitely. Listen, as I said, he's always protecting his players, but sometimes you can't be protected when you're playing shit.
When you're playing that bad, I guess it's hard.
Yeah, you can't.
I've been battered by him in training where he's on me, and then I've actually turned around and said, "What's your fucking problem?" And like he never spoke to me after that. Right?
I wonder why.
But I don't know. It's just on and on because I did go through a hard time with him, and he maybe didn't think I was as good as what I thought I was. But I did turn a corner with him at one point and I started playing well. So I've had mixed things with him, and he's always been okay with me, even afterwards. When I've retired, I've gone back to the club. He's been perfect with me. If you ever want a job at the club, come back in and things like that.
Definitely.
Even when I broke my leg, it was a big... Before that, I was really struggling, but he put his arm around me and said, "You're playing really well." I think we had Barcelona in the Champions League the following week. He said, "You'll be playing. You carry on the way you're going, you'll be playing." But I broke my leg.
Then he'll talk to you again.
To be fair, I think a few weeks later we won the cup after that, and he called me up straight after us in the changing room. "That was for you," and it brought a tear to my eye that he would do that for the changing room straight after the game. The players were shouting down the phone. Even the difficult times I did have with him, he was good to me as well.
So this kind of narrative, which is the overused word at the moment, but this kind of story of Mourinho's career where he was lovely Jose, charming Jose, sort of the one who would go and arm around the players and nice to everybody Jose, and turned into horrible Jose who hated the world. Is that probably not true? It's just that we've seen two different sides of the same person that have always been there.
At the end of the day, he's only human.
It's just really bad time. It's just really bad time.
He's human though. You're allowed to have a chip on your shoulder sometimes. Sometimes things are not going your way. You're allowed to show emotions and allowed to crack under pressure because there's a lot of pressure. Man United is a massive club. So whatever happened there, there's certain things that's going to happen that is not going to suit him. So he will crack and say certain things that he's not supposed to say. He's only human at the end of the day, and hopefully he can get back to what he was at Tottenham and entertain us again.
For now, he is very charming, Jose, at the moment. But they're only one game in. However, looking further ahead, the Paddy Power odds on Jose Mourinho to finish in the top 4 2-1, to win a trophy 11-2, and to sign Zlatan in January is 4-1.
Will Tottenham spend that much money? Do you think they never spend that?
It would have to be.
Yes.
I said to get Gareth Bale in. But he's on 600 quid a week, isn't he?
600 quid?
600 quid a week.
That's what you say that's what you say down the local, innit? But he's on 600 grand a week, so I don't know if that's going to be possible for the kitty.
I think they've got a good enough squad for him to do well with.
Yeah.
But the problem you have with him, I think, if he doesn't fancy you, he'll let you know that he doesn't fancy you.
What do you think, though? Top four looks
money.
difficult. Even though it's November, top four looks difficult. There's a big gap, and because of the teams that you'd be expecting to fall back.
The ones at the top that are doing well now.
He can dig out results, though. He can dig out results.
So maybe a trophy, 11-2. Does that seem, even though the odds are more generous, do you think that's more likely?
Yeah, I would say so. I think he might get something. Anything like above sixth place would be like massive for him, I think. A trophy, that would be good in his first season. He's coming, quarter of the way through already. So we'll see, but I know that he's going to be definitely making a difference in that squad. Definitely. And they've got the players as well. Come on.
There'll be a buzz around the training ground, definitely.
and it's
they'll enjoy training.
He'll enjoy it because it's state-of-the-art training ground as well. So he's going to be buzzing as well. So I think it's
he was very impressed with the overnight facilities, wasn't he? Because they stayed late at training.
Oh, really?
And he was like, he was talking about the duvets, the pillows, everything.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't see that.
Waxing lyrical about it. But to be honest, it wasn't the headline at the press conference. He did say it was very, very comfortable. So it could be a very interesting time ahead for Jose Mourinho at Tottenham. Potentially, it could be successful. Time to tell you about how you could be at our next live show. It's the Liquid Football Christmas Quiz together with Paddy Power. It's at the W12 Studios in White City in London. It's Monday evening, the 2nd of December from 8 o'clock. 2 teams will pit their wits against each other to be crowned quiz kings. And as well as showing off their football knowledge, the panels will take on a host of fun challenges for extra points for their teams. Oh my God, it's going to be like a Krypton factor. There's going to be plenty of chances for the audience to get involved as well. You're all going to be there, aren't you?
Yes. Yeah, I'm there.
Go to eventbrite.co.uk and the Liquid Football Facebook page for more details. But if you can't make it, then the show will be available to watch on YouTube or to download as a podcast next Tuesday. But you will have to provide your own beer. Liverpool kept up their incredible record this season, just about. Late goals with victory at Crystal Palace yet again. Roberto Firmino with the winner, 5 minutes from time. Are we talking about resilience here, or are we talking about a poor performance? What do you think, Luis?
Faith. I go with that one. No, I think at the moment is a great moment for them, even though we are not enjoying as much as we were enjoying a few weeks back, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks back. But it is about getting results. At the moment, you cannot just think about, listen, we have to play beautifully. We want to build up from the back. Because teams are aware of the strength of Liverpool. It's not as easy as before. They make very good lines at the back, so it's very difficult for the people up front to create things. So counter-attack it is, set pieces it is, and try to continue getting points, and try as long as we can. As they can, yes, they used to. As they can keep that gap, the better. I mean, I know that at the end, January, February is going to be a very tough 2 months, and they need to keep that. And if it's like this, winning in the last minute, then it is. If
you're on a run of results like that, how do you feel as a player when you take to the pitch and you know you're not playing badly, but you know that you've played badly and managed to get the win before and on a few occasions as well? It's about the feeling that I used to have is try to. There were some pitches, and it happens to Crystal Palace, for example. One of them, I remember, go to Birmingham. There were some on Newcastle, tough grounds that we used to struggle, and we knew that we just have to get it out of the way. Let's go there, just try to make a good game, try to make a consistent game and get the results, get back and try to, at Anfield or all the games that we felt more comfortable, try to get results. Even though at Anfield, some teams, they used to come and sit at the back, and it was so frustrating to try to do things and create things and build up things for nothing. And one late goal at the 91st minute, fine, fair enough. Get out of the way and there will be better games. It's the same way. But you can have that, the flip side of that as well, can't you? You can have that kind of feeling, well, we're top of the league, we're 8 points clear, we're digging out results. Or you can be at the other end of the table where you're thinking, nothing, absolutely nothing is going our way. And it's not always necessarily the reality of it, but the perception of it and the way you feel on the pitch would be completely different.
I can only compare it to really being at Southampton, then when I moved to Chelsea, where at Southampton, I think, you want to play well and you want to think positive, but it's hard because you feel like nothing's going your way. Whereas when I was at Chelsea, don't get me wrong, you play well and you'd score and win easily. But there's times as a defender, I think, right, you're going to go to tough stadiums or against tough teams are going to make it difficult for you, but you knew you had people up front that could score a goal. Yeah. So you're more relaxed and you think more positively. And I am a big believer in if you think more positive things are going to happen. And when you're at the top, it just happens. Like you said, because if you naturally are in a positive frame of mind, then that's going to help you. Yeah, but if to turn those kind of negative thoughts into positives is... where do you even start with that process? I've been in Southampton where it's like we'll have emergency meetings and it's like, where is it going to come from? You walk out the meetings and you still don't know better off. Yeah. It's about the pressure. The pressure that the Liverpool players they got at the moment is not the same one like
It can be a team is trying to get in out of the relegation zone, because the stress you have on the pressure you have in every single game is when you are not performing the way that you can. Now Liverpool, they know that in any moment, like Wayne just said, that they're going to score. They got players, they can create goals from nowhere. So they
no
got the
panic.
try, they are relaxed, there is no panic. When you are fighting for that is when things are going not on your way, and they are red cards that were not expecting, when there are chances that you normally will score, and then you don't do it because you are not on your 100%. So I think it depends of that kind of situation. It's not because of the moment. I totally believe in the momentum.
And if it's not going for you, that every mistake that happens in the game is magnified in your head.
And I feel like if you're down the bottom, a change is needed. It's so hard to get out of that rut of just not getting the results, and I think the players have a little bit of fear. They don't want to make mistakes. It's so hard to get out of.
How do you do that then? What's your personality type in that situation?
Mate, I got relegated. Like,
I have as well. I've been as well. It's hard because you start looking at the players in the change. You'll moan about the players in the change room with you, like they're not bothered.
Yeah.
Like, I always felt like I was a player that was bothered. I think you do look around and go, "Oh, he's not bothered. He don't care." It's a horrible place to be.
It is a horrible place. I remember that year when we did get relegated, West Ham. How horrible! Like, we was actually together as a unit. Like, we were good together. Like, we didn't start dividing or anything like that. It's just that nothing went our way, like on the pitch basically, and then
that must get into your head. Like, if you go on and say there's a red card that could have maybe been a yellow, and it gets sent off, then you go again, or a goal goes in and it just crosses the line, or it takes a deflection, and you go again. That must worm its way into your brain.
The negativity is always going to be there, like, because that's how you're thinking. You're thinking it's just not our year. It's not our season.
But like you said, if you're trying to think positively, what would your approach be in that circumstance to try and change the mindset?
For me, I was always positive anyway. I'm just a positive person, but that someone that will deal with being in a rut might deal with it different to what I would. I'll just stay positive. I'll try and dig myself out. That season when we got relegated, actually, I was top goal scorer, and I was trying to do my bit, but it was.
So what you're saying is not my fault.
But the defence was leaking goals. You know what I mean?
Fuck off, mate. Every time I come on with him, he fucking digs me out. It's I've had enough.
But all I'm saying, but all I'm saying is, like, when you're in that frame of mind as a team, there's only one way. You're going down.
If you describe us at West Ham when we went down, I don't think the manager really, Abraham, I think he wasn't the guy to get us out of it. I don't think, as much as I've gotten well with him in terms of a manager.
Well, he wasn't experienced in that sort of thing anyway. He was just there for the good times, basically, because when it was good, it was good. When we did win some brilliant games underneath him.
As defenders as well, we just didn't think our strikers were scoring enough. You know, like, won every other game.
I baited him.
What does a manager need to do then? What kind of manager do you need when you're in that situation? What do you want from him?
Leadership.
Yeah, a bit of leadership. Like, when he used to get angry, he wasn't really angry, was he?
No,
he was still talking.
He was angry, but he had a little smirk on his face.
Not a smirk, but he was talking. I found it really hard there because I love West Ham. I think it's a great family club. I think the fans are great. I just found it really hard.
It was hard.
I always thought there was players that maybe just you wanted a bit more from, a bit more fight.
But I tell you what does help, the fans. Like, West Ham are renowned for having, like, hard to please fans, and when you're not doing right by the team, you'll know about it. So if you see you're not trying hard enough, they'll tell you. And some players, just in their body language, it might look like they're not trying, but they are really trying. Do you know what I mean? But because the fans don't see what we see as players, like, they actually are trying, but the fans will get on them, and then that will bring their morale low, and then that goes through the team. Then it's just, you're just trying to drag yourself out of it, really.
Just while we're on West Ham, we were maybe going to do this later, but it seems so obvious now then to talk about when you say you're in a situation where things aren't going your way and you're looking around it and it's easy to blame players who you think aren't trying. What if you're at West Ham now and you have a goalkeeper and you have Roberto in goal, and it doesn't look like he's not trying, but it doesn't look like he's good enough. And that's a really difficult position to be in for a teammate, because you're thinking, well, if I thought you weren't trying and you could do better, I could dig you out. But if I think you're trying and there's nothing else left to do, there's nothing else to come from you.
In football, like obviously I'm in the youth team over at West Ham at the moment. So what I do try and tell the kids is at least leave everything on that pitch, and if your best is not good enough, then that's fine with me. Do you know what I mean? But if you got someone that's
trying
Do
their
you
hardest,
feel like he's not trying his hardest?
No, I'm not saying that.
Carlton, that's fine at youth level, but when Premier League survival depends on it.
Exactly. So this is where the problem is now. So now it's crisis, because you're looking to your goalkeeper. We've got Fabianski that is the main guy. He's not around at the moment. Obviously, he's injured. Then you're looking for the backup goalkeeper to come in and do a job, and it's not coming off for him at the moment. Not saying that he's not trying hard enough. It's just not coming off. Sometimes it just doesn't happen for you. And he's probably in a rut as well. He's thinking, every time this ball comes near me, I don't want it near me. The ball is fire. The ball is fire. But I'm just saying.
But this is the thing: is nobody wants to feel them better. People are happy to criticise him, and that's fair. But nobody is going in hard on him because it doesn't look like he's not trying. That's the sort of difficulty I'm saying, is that even from the outside you're looking at that, but from when you're inside a team and you're watching somebody and it's just not happening.
If you're going to stick with him, it's hard. I wouldn't know what to do as a manager.
But how can you tell when a keeper's not trying? Because they just stand there anyway.
He's not trying, but how do you deal with it? It's like, how do you deal with it? Do you put someone else in?
When it's difficult to point when the things are not going well. It's like easy. It's like easy now. And obviously the keeper is not good enough, or the defender is not good enough on that one. But I think it's because the whole situation. Because even if the keeper is not good enough, if the team is doing well, people is not going to talk about the keeper. Yeah, you can see a one mistake, but you're winning.
Yeah,
no one is going to talk about it.
But a team like West Ham needs a good goalkeeper, because
you're going to receive a lot of.
Although we can go forward with the ball, we have to defend as well, because we don't have that. We're not like a possession team, you know what I mean? So you're going to need a good, solid goalkeeper behind you to have that confidence to go forward. And if you don't have that, then it's a nightmare, really. And that's what's happening right now.
This is Liquid Football on Joe, together with Paddy Power and Kelly Cates, alongside me, Wayne Bridge, Luis Garcia and Carlton Cole. If you like what you see and hear, then please leave a nice review on YouTube and iTunes. On the latest House of Rugby, they've been discussing how James Haskell's doing in the jungle on I'm a Celebrity.
Just in terms of Hask in the jungle, though, into the shower last night, first person to get his kit off. Yeah. I mean, he's playing...
Surprise!
He's mapped out a routine or a game plan. He's gone for the social media guru, and he's got his kit off at the first opportunity. I mean, he's not stupid, is he? He may have been trapped to the bottom of a couple of rucks, but he knows what he's doing out there.
I reckon anything where if they have to put that cage on the head tonight, he's like, that's his perfect. Cover up that, and then he'll be doing it semi-naked underneath, just to get as many votes.
They're going to need a fairly big bowl to put over his.
That is a
sizable horse head as well.
To be fair.
Remember that House of Rugby is available to watch on YouTube or to download from your usual podcast provider. And remember to check out Joe's other shows as well, TKO with Carl Frampton and Pioneers with John Amici. Time now for the Paddy Power Challenge, a chance for you to win £250 plus a £250 bet for the charity of your choice. Last week, Steve Sidwell won the busking challenge, the freestyle busking challenge. He put his £250 bet on Liverpool to win at Palace, odds of 5-2 on, and he was successful. This week's challenge is Get in the Box, very tenuously linked to I'm a Celebrity, because Righty's in and Wayne did it once, so that's what we've gone with. And I'm a Celebrity themed challenge. Get in the Box. It is our pundits will put their hands in a box. Inside will be a loosely football related item, and they're going to have to guess what that is. It's whoever does it in the quickest time, and obviously you have to get it right, but if more than one of you gets it right, then whoever does it in the quickest time. Are you ready?
Yes.
Kind of.
Wayne, as a veteran of I'm a Celebrity, you're going to go up first.
Let's go.
First of all is Wayne with a warm meat pie.
Am I allowed? Do you want me to turn around? Yeah. I'm feeling very nervous.
Go on then, Wayne, put your hand in. Let's see what it is.
Oh, I literally don't want to do it.
But be careful, put it in really, really slowly.
You want to wind up, in ya?
Go on.
My...
Just be careful.
You're stitching out, you are.
You say move
Oh, quick, pull out.
Am I close to it?
We're just explaining you're sort of rotating your hand around. Have you got it yet?
Got what? Nothing there. There's something there, isn't there?
There is definitely something in the box.
Oh my God.
Just be careful because you don't know whether it's going to be in the
Feels
same
quite
place
rough.
next time you touch it.
It feels rough.
Rough in what way?
Oh no! What is that? What is that? What is it? Can it bite?
I can't give you any more clues, I'm afraid. What happens if you squish it?
What is that?
Well, what does it
Feels
feel
warm. It's not a poo.
like? You'd be able to smell it if it was. What does it feel like? What shape is it?
It feels like stuff's coming off. If it a bit gritty, is it?
What happened?
It's really crusty. I don't get what it can be.
What shape is what's in your hand?
Circular?
Right. So it's circular. It's what, a bit gritty.
Is it penalty spot?
Penalty spot. Do you know how
I've done a penalty spot. I can put it there. That's not hard.
what have you just done? What's happened? Does
What
it come?
is it?
Does it come?
I haven't got a fucking clue.
You won't, I swear to God, you've been quite close to it.
It's a pie. How does that took
What
me so
kind-
fucking long?
That moment when you realise, when you go, oh my God. In the box for Luis, Petr Cech's helmet. So describe how it feels.
Some technique that.
Let me see. It's big.
It's big.
It's right here. It's not moving. Okay.
Oh, he's all right. He looks calm.
What does it feel like?
It's like a football ball.
10 times easier than mine, this one.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a strap. It's like a strap. It's like a helmet for a keeper when you have a
Oh my God.
like Peter Cech.
Exactly
was
that.
Who?
Exactly that.
Peter's edge.
Oh, that was quick.
That was quick.
Yeah.
That was quick.
I think you probably beat me there.
For Carlton, it's Fergie's chewing gum.
I don't really want to put my hand in. I actually don't want to put my hand in. I was just going to go, what's that? What was that?
What does it feel like?
I don't know what it is.
Is it? What is it? Describe it. Is it warm or cold or?
Is it sweet? Where is it? Oh,
I think that's unfair. It's just
it's
small,
like
isn't it?
plasticine. Remember plasticine? Play-Doh.
Because that's a really famously football thing.
Oh, it was a football thing.
Me and Carlton never got the memo, by the way.
Chewing gum. Is it someone's used chewing gum?
Who chewed it?
Sam Allardyce's chewing gum.
even more famous than Sam Allardyce for chewing gum.
Can I have a clue?
Yeah, well, only that he's a very famous gum chewer.
Gum chewer.
Even more so than Sam Allardyce.
Priceless.
Why am I still rolling it between my fingers? What am I doing?
Best line ever!
I
I didn't even notice or think about it.
Had a good consistency. I ain't getting it. Alex Ferguson. Wow.
And just as a little treat for Carlton, we've given him the cameraman's hand.
See, this one would freak me out.
I'm a bit nervous about this one because obviously you give me someone's used chewing gum. Is that alive? Is it alive?
Is it alive?
Oh.
What does it feel like?
That would freak
Is it
me out. That actually freaked me out.
Are you sure? It's soft. It felt like a sock to begin with. Is that someone's? Is someone underneath there? That's someone's hand.
I love how much you loved that at the end. You were
I
just
wish you had brought me in for that one. I think I could have freaked him right.
Yeah. So, Luis, you are the winner. You're just so calm for most of it.
I try.
So you've got your £250 courtesy of Paddy Power. You have a £250 bet, and your bet is going to be?
It's going to be Norwich Arsenal 11-4.
To draw?
Yes, to draw. I think it's a good chance now for Arsenal to get a point, and Norwich is going to be... No, I'm joking. I think it's a good result. It could be a fair result.
Okay. Manchester United drew 3-3 at Sheffield United yesterday. They did come from 2 goals down to lead 3-2, but they conceded an equaliser late on in that one. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said afterwards, and we'll talk about Sheffield United and their positives as well, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said afterwards, well, you know, this team never give up, and this time last year we could have been 3-4-5 down. Are you, if you're Man United, are you taking the positives from that game?
For me, like, a big team like Man United celebrating after they've equalised, not going to the goal, picking up the ball and trying to get another one, that's not good enough for me. Like, that's we're talking about Man United here, and look, I love Ole, but he needs to really come out and say, listen, that wasn't a good enough performance. We should be winning this game quite easily with the players that we've got, and how big this club is. But he might come and say, oh well, that was in the past. Do you know what I mean? But for me, you got to be looking at that and thinking, setting the standard and saying, this is the level we are. 3-3 is not good enough. It should be 4-3, 5-3. We should be winning this game properly and comfortably.
It just kind of, because this is all happening with the shadow of Mauricio Pochettino, sort of across any manager that's under any pressure in the Premier League at the moment, but particularly because there were the really strong links between him and Manchester United last summer, it just feels as though he's on a hiding to nothing at the moment, Solskjaer.
I think when we were talking before about what you say on a press conference, what you say in the dressing room, and I guess it's not the same message inside, but I think he tried to be positive, but the message you could send into the people, to your supporters, probably is not the best one. I mean, I'm not no one to say, listen, you should go ahead and talk this way, but it's true that when you are on a top team fighting for all the trophies, the message has to be, we want everything, and if today we haven't won, we need to improve. And I think it should be the message of a manager who wants to get trophies. They always say that you got 85 minutes to win a game and 5 not to lose it. Once you've been there with 3 goals and 1 ahead, you have to try to keep the safe. And well, it didn't happen, so you have to be look inside and say, look, why we didn't get those 3 points.
If you're in the Manchester United squad, and like we said, what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is saying in the dressing room is not necessarily, and probably unlikely to be what he's saying in publicly. But if you're one of the players and you've got a manager and things aren't going well at the club, and you have someone like Pochettino, and he's one of a number of high-profile managers who are available at the moment, lots of speculation about them. Is that having an effect on you, do you think? Are the players talking about that?
I think there'll be, if the manager looks like he could go, and there's a possibility, I think players will talk about it. And I think the closer it gets to manager possibly leaving, the more you talk about the possibilities who's coming in, and it's
and the chances that I got to play.
Yeah, and it's
who you'd like, and
it's because you hear so much about different managers, what training's like, how many days off this one gives, and it's like plays an effect. How you think, oh, we want this one, we don't want that one. It does play an effect, and you'll all be talking like they might hear good stuff about Poch and training's good, and you know, if you win, you might get the next day off. And it's like, you do talk about it. I've definitely talked about it.
Yeah.
When did you talk about it?
Well, I've been pretty quite a few managers. I've had about 9, I think.
But when you're in that situation, you're talking about the new manager coming in. Like you want results to improve. Like, I mean, anyone does. But you're talking about the details of it, aren't you?
I don't think we'd go into too much detail until it actually, like, you hear a lot that they're looking and it's happening. Because
do you think
I just want to play well
than people just on the grapevine, or players?
Yeah, I think they do.
Are they more informed?
I've heard talk that Everton are already looking.
Well,
I haven't been given no names, but I've heard they're already looking. You definitely hear, and you'll know.
I turned a blind eye to it, like me.
Yeah, but you know they're looking. You don't necessarily talk about it because as a player, I want to play well because like for instance, you don't want that manager to get sacked. You know, you be there, you're in favour, you want to keep trying. You don't want him to get sacked, like, because it's down to the players at the end of the day as well. Why the manager gets sacked, it's not necessarily just him. You're a team. It's how well you've been performing.
No, but it's not about the Sunday or Saturday when you play. You go there and you perform.
Oh yeah,
100%.
you perform. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You perform.
Inside, we cannot forget that there is 25 players or 22 players in the dressing room, and only 12, 13 are regularly used. So the other ones are the one are chatting. Listen, if this one is gonna come, maybe I'll have the chance of playing more. That's why the reaction of Mourinho arriving to the dressing room, the rest of the team get in
it's a
because
fresh start.
Yeah, it's a fresh start for everyone. Exactly, it's 100%, and let's see what he decides.
And they'll have been asking teammates who've played under them. So if they've been away on the England camp together, they'll be saying, "Oh, did you? What did he do?" And
it's like Martin O'Neill, who's renowned for just giving 3 days off a week or something like that, wasn't he? If he come in, everyone's like, "Yes, 3 days off a week."
So he's saying that's why he was always linked with so many jobs. It was players talking to people, "We'd really like him to come in."
I got a teammate used to say when it was a moment of he's coming in and coming out, there was a name of the manager who was coming to the team, and he was saying, they told me that we are going to run a lot. He was more scared of running.
Running was the worst.
Running days that if we were going to play or play well or whatever.
But this idea that there are managers out there, there are big clubs with managers who are struggling at the moment. Arsenal, another one that's happening. Everton, as you mentioned, that there could be a vacancy there. I mean, there could be a vacancy at any of these clubs by the time this podcast goes out. But there are big name. It's not just Pochettino out there. Ancelotti is free at the moment. There are obviously lots of Allegri's out there as well. There are lots of big name managers who are available, and there are places where the manager has a shaky position. I mean, you wouldn't want to be repainting his office at this stage of the season, for example. It just the atmosphere that must create in the club.
Yeah, it's unnerving, isn't it? As a manager, you just don't know what's going to happen. You could be sacked the next day. As a player, you don't know what's going to happen either. So you're a bit wary about. You don't want to be doing. You don't want to be doing too poorly for your gaffer, because you want to still give a good name. Leave a good name in his mouth, you know what I mean? Because he's going to go and say, that geezer there, he wasn't playing for me. So you get the vibes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, as much as you talk about managers, you've got to remember they're talking about you.
Yeah, they're still talking about you as a player. So you got to really try and do the best you can for whoever you're playing for, and not concentrate on who's coming in. For me, so that's why I just focused on myself. And yeah, the boys would tell you, like, Bridgie would be, because he's got one. Bridgie's got one ear to the streets, you know what I mean? He's got one ear to the streets, so he'll be like, have you heard? The gaffer's just getting the tic-tac, mate.
He knows something's going on at West Ham. I want to know what Paddy Power odds are for 3 managers to get sacked before January.
Well, I don't know nothing that's going on at West Ham, but all I'm saying is, like, you just, as a player, you just want to do your utmost best for your gaffer at that time. And if it doesn't come off, you wish the gaffer best of luck, all the best, and keep going, and then hopefully he buys you to go to the next club if you've done well for him, you know what I mean, on a big money transfer, you know what I mean, but he probably wouldn't. I
like the idea that you're the kind of player who just ignored it all, and you're like, what's happening?
He's a nosy Parker, that's what he is. He wants to know everything.
He's coming after me every week.
But listen, we will be going away and saying nice things about all of you after this week's show. That's it for this episode of Liquid Football on Joe, together with Paddy Power. Thank you very much to Wayne Bridge, to Luis Garcia, and to Carlton Cole. Next Monday, it's the Liquid Football Christmas Quiz at the W12 Studios in White City in London. You're invited. Tickets are available. Go to eventbrite.co.uk or the Liquid Football Facebook page for more details. If you can't make the show, then you can, of course, download the podcast or watch it on YouTube from next Tuesday, and then leave us a nice iTunes review if you like what you hear. Check out our other shows as well. House of Rugby with James Haskell, or in the absence of James Haskell, is in the jungle at the moment. TKO with Carl Frampton. Pioneers with John Amici. For now, though, from all of us, thanks for listening.
You've been watching Liquid Football on Joe, sponsored by Paddy Power.